Perfect. Okay, now you can also hear me. Wow. All right. Last session of the day. Let's talk about teams. Successful teams. Actually, successful teams are made of people. Of course, of successful people. People like these here. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, all successful people. Now, we can't have those people maybe on our teams, but you may have worked with very successful people or with very, very good programmers. Maybe you are one of those really, really great programmers. I've worked with them, and you know what? They are so fast. They can code very, very fast. You give them a task and they can do it within minutes, where I need an hour for that. So really, really great people, really fast programmers. And they always come up with the best ideas. When you sit in the meeting with them, they say, we can solve it this and this way, and you just say, wow, mind blown. Why didn't I have this idea? Wow, really? Why didn't I come up with that? And those people are really problem solver. If something goes wrong, they can solve it, really. They got up the system within minutes, where another team or another people may take an hour for bringing up the system. They know where the problem is. They find that out very, very fast. Really great people. And if you look at their code, wow, it's so elegant, you know? I'm actually afraid of changing those people's code, because I actually will destroy a masterpiece of code there. So what I do, I inherit the class and change it anyway, change the behavior, but hey, I didn't touch the code, you know? So, and then they know the newest technologies. So if I read something about new technology, I say, hey, can we maybe use this new cool thing? And say, yeah, it's already implemented. I played around with it over the weekend. I know everything about it. Ask me about it. And said, wow, these people are really great. These people are really the rock stars of our industry. Really, you want to work with them. Some people call them actually the 10x programmer, the 10 times as productive as a normal programmer, you know? Wow, cool. And we're desperately looking for those. So if you look at job advertisement here, rockstar developer needed. Yeah, we want a rockstar developer. Or here, unicorn Oracle developer. A unicorn developer. Woo! But my favorite is actually developer ninja. Who doesn't want to be a developer ninja, right? These people are so good, and we want them. People like I said, like Steve Jobs, inventor of the Macintosh. Really? He wasn't. It was his team actually that built it. Maybe he had the great ideas and contributed to it, but it was his team actually that built it. Or Elon Musk revolutionized the electrical car. Yeah, maybe, but his team actually did the hard work. They came up with the cool battery ideas and how to put it in a car and how to develop the drive chain. It was his team actually. Or Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, maybe Mark wrote a lot of lines of code for Facebook. Yeah, that may be true. But actually he got inspired by his team, right? It's the team really that counts here. So my name is Sven. I work for a company called Atlassian. We're doing tools like Jira, Bitbucket, Confluence, you name it. And yeah, I mean, I'm traveling around as a team advocate. So I'm really passionate about making software developers more productive. That's what I do. And if you look at teams, maybe you're working in a larger organization. If you look at teams, you may have noticed this. There are always some teams that are brilliant. You know, you can give some project or whatever to them and say, fix that or do that, and they do it within weeks, where other teams need half a year or something. They are really, really high performance teams. So Google actually, they wanted to find out what makes actually the difference. What makes the difference between the already good team and the really, really great team. So they were actually looking at it. So they were looking at the teams and saying, these are high performance teams, what's the difference? Try to find it out. They were looking at teams like these teams here, Team A. Team A is actually a very process-oriented team. They have their processes in place. when they do a meeting, they stop 5 minutes before the end of the meeting, wrapping up, putting down the tasks. So a very, very structured team. Where team B is actually a totally chaotic team. They run over meetings. They say, okay, they get kicked out of the meeting room. There's no processes. They discuss things. They chat at night. Right. So they looked actually at those teams. So what do you think is more high performance teams, team A or team B? There's actually no right answer to it, because Google found high performance teams that act like team A and then high performance teams that act like team B. There's no really right answer for this. So they had to really look deeper inside those teams. And then actually at the end they found something. They found the real difference. Because if you're working in a high performance team, you're working in a safe place. You can express yourself. You bring your true self to work, not the work person, your true self to work. So you can speak freely. People are listening to you. They are respecting you, they respect your opinion, and you can discuss things freely. You don't have to hold back. So this is really the difference between a good team and a high-performance team. They act in this psychological safe place. But not only that, these teams also need a good structure set up. They also need to share the same mindset, think along the same lines. They need to also support from the rest of the organization. Otherwise, they can't be high performance. And they need a direction where to head after. Where are we going? So they need that. And actually, this is actually the secret sauce of high performance teams, of successful teams. This is the secret sauce here. And let's start with giving teams a compelling direction. How do we give teams a compelling direction? I mean, I've been working as a team lead for quite some time. And then there's always going like this. Yeah, we have our yearly goals, great. But then people come to you and say, hey, work on Project X. Project X is the most important thing. You say, okay, good, I'm working. And then somebody comes and say, Project Y. This is really bringing revenue into the company. We have to finish that project. And then your team says, well, we have to migrate everything to microservice because it's getting faster. We have to be faster. And we need to do automated deployment. And all of a sudden, you are dragged into different directions. People are pulling at you. So instead of giving people so much goals here and so much directions, what you should do is really to give them just a North Star. This is where we're heading. This is where we're going as a team or as an organization. And we're doing that at Atlassian. We're writing down our 2-year vision. So how would Atlassian look like in 2 years? What do we want to accomplish? How will our products look like in 2 years? This is really our vision that we have, and this is what our teams get guided by. Under this vision, we have different themes where we say, okay, we have to improve support, we have to do that, and that. These are very, very stable themes that we are doing. And under this, we are defining focus areas where we want to focus on. So this is really important. So for 1 year, we're focusing on these 4 areas. And if somebody comes to your desk and say, Project Y is the most important project, you say, okay, let's see, is that something we can attach to a focus area? No, I'm not going to do that. The focus area is what counts. So for example, we had a focus area quite some time ago where we said, okay, we want to bring our products to enterprises, to large organizations. They have different requirements like stability and scalability and stuff like that, and our products weren't ready for that. So we developed that you can add more nodes to our product. So one node is down, the other node gets up, and so on. But not only that, also support, we're looking at that and say, yeah, if we want to go enterprise, we need a premium support. We need to react fast and give people fast answers and fast solutions. So they set up a premium support. So this was a focus area that we had. And under this focus area, we need to measure things. We need to know what success looked like. So we can constantly see, are we on the right track? Are we going in the right way? So this is what we are doing on a company level. So we call this framework VTFM, Vision, Themes, Focus, and Measures. And this is really giving our teams that we have the guiding light. This is guiding them. Now, you say, okay, VTFM, that's a yearly, we're looking yearly at it, and it's a whole company. What has that to do with me? Actually, yearly? Are you kidding me, Sven? Are we not agile? Huh? Right? We're reacting fast. We have short feedback cycles, right? And then also, the company, I can't change the company's goals, but what is with the team? What are my team goals? So yeah, you're right. So some teams are actually writing down their own OKRs at Atlassian, but what every team does is, their own VTFM, but what every team does is they have their OKRs. OKRs is a framework that also Google uses, and I think it's invented by Intel, or developed by Intel. It has objectives on one side and key results on the other side. So an objective, just to get that down, could be for us showing the project status on a mobile phone from Jira. Okay, that's an objective. Then a key result could be like, we want to have 1,000 daily users on that mobile app. 1,000 daily users that view that mobile status on their mobile, that project status on their mobile phone. And then after 3 months, we're looking at, did we reach that? So we're looking at the score. Okay, we had 700 daily users, which is okay, but damn, we didn't reach the goal. Instead, we did reach the goal. We did reach the goal, because if the score is between 0.7 and 0.9, we say, okay, goal reached. Because we're doing stretch goals. So really, 1,000 would really stretch us. So if we have OKRs, or if we have scores from 1.0 throughout all our OKRs, objectives, then we probably haven't set too ambitious goals. So first, these goals are stretch goals. So these are really would really push us to reach that goal. On the other side, there's also the thing that we change our OKRs every quarter. So we're doing quarterly OKRs, which gives, on one hand, us the possibility to change it throughout the years, change the goals throughout the years, but gives also the team enough stability. So that said, that works fine for us. So they know actually what they will develop on in the next 3 months. And then also, less is more. I mean, 2 or 3 objectives, which each 2-3 key results, that's enough. There's other shit coming up, right? So we concentrate on these 3 or 2 objectives, and that's it for now. And then also make your goals transparent for everyone. So I just put in our intranet here OKR FY17, and I can see the design team's OKR. But important is that I can see the OKRs or the goals from the team next door. So I can align my goals with their goals, or the OKRs from the whole department. So I can align those goals. So I can see, okay, they are working on that, we're working on that, so we align those goals. So, but that is, these are just our ideas, right? This is what we think we should do. These are our goals. But what about the users? We have to also listen to the users to feed back into our goals, right? And we have a company value called this here. Don't f the customer. That's a company value that we have, and we should ask our customers, hey, what bothers you? What's in the way? How can we improve it? But that said, we have around 100,000 customers with, I don't know, a lot of users. So we have a couple of million users. And if we ask all those users, we're again dragged into the different directions. So we have to have a framework to measure it. What would really bugs the most customers? So what we do is actually, what you probably also have experienced, that people ask you, would you recommend this software to a friend? And then you score it from 0 to 10, where 0 is really worse, I wouldn't recommend it anywhere, and 10 is, yeah, it's a great tool, I will recommend it to a friend. So we are measuring it an NPS score, so-called NPS score. And then we're looking at improvement or decreasing of user satisfaction. And then we have another field underneath, says, okay, we also want to know what really bugs you, so not just score it, but also write something down here, what really bugs you. And yeah, as I said, we have a lot of customers, so this is a lot of stuff. How can I see really what really bugs the customer? So what we developed is a system where we can actually take this feedback from the users and put it into 3 different buckets. So we have these 3 different buckets, and these 3 different buckets are reliability of our software, usability, and functionality of our software. So we can put everything into those buckets, and we call this system rough, right? So let's give you an example how that looks like. So, for example, for Confluence, we get in 3 months around 40,000 pieces of feedback. That's a lot to read through. And it's also a lot to see what really bugs the customer. So we are roughing it, and if you rough it, it looks like this. Wow, that makes more sense now. Reliability 31%, usability 63%, and functionality 6%. So we probably have to work more on the usability side and fix those problems instead of adding new functionality. So of course you can break that a little bit more down here to look deeper into it. So our team, the voice of the customer team, is looking at the feedback, putting it into these buckets, give it to the product managers, and they divide it over the teams. But then it's the voice of customer, the product managers, and maybe the development team that knows what bugs the customers. But hey, everyone should know what really bugs the customer. Everyone at Atlassian should know that. So what we do is we're sending weekly emails. We're sending weekly emails to every Atlassian saying, here, this is the increase of our tools, the increase or decrease of the NPS score. This is our goal. This is what we have currently. Plus, we're taking all this feedback and giving each Atlassian an individual email. So we're putting each item of feedback and divide it to the Atlassians. So you can every Atlassian gets a different set of feedback. So the feedback is not just for the product manager, it's also for everyone at Atlassian or for random Atlassian. So marketing knows what bugs the customer, finance knows, legal knows what bugs the customer. So in terms of giving your team a compelling direction, think about giving them a North Star. Be clear that they can follow goals, and also understand customer feedback to everything, to the whole loop. Let me talk a little bit about building a strong structure for your team. We work with different types of people together, for example, with designers, But hey, we are developers. We understand each other, right? We know really what's problem in development and stuff like that. We laugh about the same jokes like this here. Why do engineers confuse Halloween and Christmas? Because Oct 31 equals Des 25. Right? Yeah. You get it. Cool. A designer will never get that joke, right? But designers have another sense of humor. They say, Comic Sans walks into a bar. The bartender says, we don't serve your type here. No designer here, I see that. Good. I'm a developer, that's great. So, we don't understand each other very well. But we have to talk a common language, right? The designers and the developers have to talk a common language somehow. So how do we do that? Well, there's one solution. We raise a Jira ticket, a design ticket, right? Yeah, you develop that button. We wait until the designer is ready, gives us that button, and then we can implement that. Great. So we can sit in our rooms here, laugh about our programming jokes. The designer can laugh about the design jokes. The testers about the test jokes. Great. Not. Right? It's stupid. It's like shooting a movie, right? And putting the cameraman, the light man, all in different rooms. That's not going to work. They create a movie together. And we're creating software together. Everyone. So I'm a huge fan of cross-functional teams. And that's what we're doing at Atlassian. We have cross-functional teams with product managers, with designers, engineers, and sometimes testers, whatever we need in that team, we put into that team. That doesn't mean that just one person belongs to just one team. If the tester is needed in another team, we can send those tester over to another team, or the designers. We want to have a common design over all our products. It would be stupid to just put it into our teams. They have to go also and talk about the design. We want to have a consistent design. So they may be 2 days a week hanging out with their design friends and then coming back to their core team and implementing all that stuff. So cross-functional teams are really great for information flows, because everyone sits in the same room or is in the same team or in the same chat room, so information flows directly. You get a diversity of thought because different people have different opinions with different backgrounds. So people with different backgrounds get different opinions about stuff, and this helps also to understand each other's role better. Why the tester wants to have a very stable system, why designer wants a very fancy system, and then getting the consensus. That's what cross-functional teams are doing. Because then at the end, the solution that you get actually faster to solutions because you have everyone in the same room, but the solution is also stronger, right? Okay. To build also a strong structured team, you should have some routines that are coming up again and again. So you should develop some team routines. And so some teams at Atlassian actually, they take some time off just to chat with each other. And they call it fika. Fika is a Swedish word. We had some Swedish developer coming to Atlassian and say, well, we have to do a fika. And I said, what? Okay, good. So fika is a Swedish word for having a coffee together. So they take two hours off or 1 hour off each week and just having a coffee together. Just without an agenda, just talking about whatever they want. Mostly it's about work. So this really bonds the team. What I did actually when I was a team lead, I wanted my team to also learn a little bit more, get out. I mean, you're going here to Voxxed Days, that's great. So we were actually watching conference videos on Fridays. Friday afternoon, just before the weekend, we watched a video from DevOps or Voxxed Days, and then we discussed it afterwards. So this was a routine that everyone was looking forward for, to start the weekend with learning some new stuff. But having routines all the time is also a bit boring, right? Yeah, we need to also mix things up. Some refreshments, we need some refreshments also. So what we also do at Atlassian is we're having these getting stuff done days, where we just say, okay, we go out of the office, rent a meeting room for the whole day, right? Book the meeting room for the whole day, turn off our chat and email clients, and get stuff done as a team, which helps a lot. Like, I mean, sometimes we're doing boring stuff, like doing the documentation because nobody wants to do the documentation, but we know it's necessary, so we're taking 1 day off to just get that done. Or if we want to do something fun, also every 6-7 weeks, the whole team takes a week off for doing some innovation work, some experimentation with the product. So the whole team takes a week off and tries some new stuff. Just experiment with the product. And a lot of stuff actually that was developed in the Innovation Week came back into the product and was very successful. Also, actually, if I work in a team, I want to get appreciated for the work. This is actually why I go to work, because people should say, Sven, great job, right? And we're doing that. Maybe we are celebrating the release party and everyone is happy about the new functionality that we put in. Great. But it's more about the small things, right? It's more about like, okay, thanks for helping me finding the bug, looking into the code and finding the bug, or helping, you did a great team presentation. That's really good. Give kudos to people. So we actually have developed a system where we can appreciate people a very easy way. We just say, great job. We have a service desk where we fill out who should receive kudos, then the summary, what the kudos is about, and then we can select a ticket here, say, movie tickets, $30. I just press create, saying thank you for helping me finding the bug. Press create. 2 days later, this person has a card on his desk saying, hey, Sven thanks you for helping him finding the bug, looking into the code. And by the way, kudos to you. Here are movie tickets. Enjoy it. It's just $30. It's not a lot of money. So, and we have we can give that as much and to whoever we want to do. And then we have another tradition, which when we do stand-ups, and we just one person just finished a great thing, the team starts clapping. It's great, you did it, cool. But then it's just a San Francisco office thing. The whole office starts clapping. If you hear clapping, you just start clapping, and then all of a sudden the whole office starts clapping, which feels really great. If you do that. So, as I said, this is just a San Francisco office cultural thing. Talking about culture, if you want to build a strong team, you have to also bring people inside your team very fast, especially if you're growing a lot like we do. So you need to have some kind of a welcoming culture. How do you establish that? Because, I remember when I started a new job, wow, there's so much new stuff to learn, so much cool stuff, so much cool people. And I feel like this person here, staying at the sideline, the cool guys are already playing, and I'm saying, I wanna join you, but I can't really, why? Because I don't know everything here. How are things done here? I don't know. So what we do actually is we give every new starter a so-called buddy. A person that is a long-term Atlassian and that knows a lot about the company and how things get done here. And this person is helping actually to say, okay, lunch is here. This is how you apply for vacation and stuff like that, and helping you. And by the way, the design team meets every Thursday evening for having some drinks. So join them. So this is you can go with every question to your buddy. So this is something that every starter gets. What also every starter has to do, that's also a San Francisco office thing, is to ride the beer bike. Well, we also have other drinks in there. There's also Coke and stuff in the bike, but it's a Friday afternoon. So every new starter on their first Friday afternoon, they have to drive the bike, stop at a desk, and say, "Hey, I'm the new person. Cheers, and let's have a conversation." So you get to know people outside of your team, and people get to know you. So this is something we do. And then you should also set clear expectations for team members, because this is also something that I feel a lot when I start new. It's like I want to show that now you hired me. I want to show that I'm really good. But actually, it's better to to take a step back and learn first, right? So you want to set expectations to your new starter. So what we do is we're giving them a 90-day plan. 90-day plan, we write everything down. This is what you have to learn, and this is what we expect from you. But besides that, we don't expect miracles in the first 90 days from you. Even we know you're a great person, and we hired you because of that. But we don't expect any real big miracles. Take the time. Now's the time to learn, and then after 90 days, get up to speed. So we're giving them this 90-day plan, saying, hey, welcome to the team. We're having here the 1-week check-in, the 30-day check-in, what to expect, what to do, and then also what we expect from you. And then we have some fun here with the Charlie's Challenge, which is finding out some stuff within Atlassian that is not so obvious. So, for example, we have something we call Ship It Days, and it's called FedEx Days before. And this question is, why did we rename that to Ship It Days? Why did we have to rename that from FedEx Days to Ship It Days? Find that out. So this is really great for getting people started within the company. Of course, the Trello team has also some kind of course, they're using a Trello board for that. So they use that for starters, but it's the same principle. They also say, this is what we expect, this is what you have to do, fill out the paperwork, but also what we expect from you as a starter. Now, maybe onboarding of new individual persons is an okay, easy job. I wouldn't say easy job, but yeah, it's solvable. But as I just said, we just acquired, I think, 10 months ago, we acquired Trello. And so we could imagine how the Trello team felt when big Atlassian came and bought Trello and said, hey, now you're part of Atlassian, cool. And they felt like, oh, we are the small team within. What can we expect? We have our own culture, and now we're getting the Atlassian culture. So actually, we looked at the culture and we thought, okay, it's quite similar, the culture. So that's actually also why we acquired you, because we think it's a good fit here, right? With the culture, a good cultural fit. And how better to show it that we are also kind of a fun company with the same values by doing a video. And so we gave the Trellist this video here. I hope it's working.
Trello, what's up? It's Atlassian, your new friend, here to share a bunch of stuff we have in common. Quite a bit. And now that we have come together, we are even more legit. Trello, good morning. We're in California, Sydney, Austin, all around the world. And just like you, we live our values. You don't do nothing, we don't fuck the customer. Seems we're in sync, so little difference between us that it feels so good to say.
It's getting a little bit weird. Sorry for that. Sorry. Let's skip. It's all right. So the next thing to really build high-performance teams, to come back to that, is to have supportive context, support from the rest of the organization, just to get your shit done. And if I talk about that, it's sometimes hard to find information about stuff. You want to develop stuff, you want to make a new system, but you know there's some analytic data somewhere lying around in the company. So what are you doing? So you can look at some spreadsheets and documents that are lying around on the file server. You can schedule some one-on-ones per person. You can schedule some meetings, or you look into some. You write an email to someone you think they might have the data. Well, this is a very closed way, because I have to look things up. I have to really go out and then pull the data. So why not having an open system, like having everything in an intranet or in chat rooms that you can search, that is searchable, that I don't have to rely on reaching out to people and ask them. It's much faster than that. So talking about intranets, of course, we are running everything in our conference instance, and I talk a lot about to our customers about how they use their intranet. And they've set it up like this. So they have opened up their systems for the team. The team can see everything. Of course, they want to provide the company information here on their intranet, and then you have your own pages that you can create. But they lock everything else up. Everything else is locked up, like other teams' goals, other teams' projects, like decisions from other teams that has been made, or strategies from the leadership team. This is not the right way, I think. We think actually everything should be open by default. Now, said that is, we're a public company, and our HR spaces are of course locked down, because I'm not allowed to see the interviews or the results of the interviews from people we want to hire. So this is locked down, but everything is open by default. I have to actively say, no, this is not open. So I can search for everything. So for example, here someone, Steve Pittet, wrote that up here. Why we develop Bitbucket pipelines. And he wrote that up, brought all the information here. He actually provided some links where I could dive deeper into that. So that really answered all my questions about Bitbucket pipeline. Actually, I had a question here and asked, hey, are we developing this for server? Also, because it's a cloud system, and Stan said, no, we can't, because it's built on cloud systems, so we can't really bring that to server that easily, which I'm a little bit disappointed, but this is the answer. So also, if you do that, allow for corrections, allow people to edit the page. sometimes people have additional stuff that they want to put on. So they can add links to it. They don't want to delete some stuff from your page, I'm pretty sure. And also they can say, hey, this page is outdated, here's the new page. And sharing what we think and what we feel and what we're doing, this is really something that is in our DNA. We actually say share it or it didn't happen. Actually, if you go to someone at Atlassian and ask, where can I find the information? They always say, it's in our extranet. It's in EAC, how we call our intranet here. EAC or it didn't happen. Don Brown just wrote a blog post last year about it. And this is really goes down to our values that we have and to open company, no bullshit. Open company, no bullshit. Now, you should be warned because this can go also in a wrong direction, like this here. Someone wrote a new policy about the bring your own device policy. And to be honest with you, this policy was pretty strict. It was a pretty strict policy, so people were commenting on that. Open company, no bullshit. Yeah, people are commenting on stuff, and we actually have very, very passionate discussions about it. But then at the end, people were saying, I can't work anymore if this policy takes place. I can't really work from home anymore. I can't check my emails on my phone anymore. I will be less productive. So people are ranting a lot. So until our founder jumped in and said, hey, stop the discussion. Stop the discussion here. Thank you for all your feedback. We will look at this policy and look at it again and make it more accessible for everyone so everyone is happy. But don't rant, really? Don't do that. Come up with better solutions. This is really the way. This person actually put his best effort into this policy, and he thought this policy is good, and don't rant on teammates, right? So, because we have another value, and this value is play as a team. And these two values, open company, no bullshit, and play as a team goes hand in hand, right? Okay, so easy access to information, great. But sometimes we need maybe some more help to get stuff done. So for example, if you probably have that too, you have an IT service desk, we have that too, so if we want to have SSH access, we file a ticket. And I don't care about who the IT administrator is or what his phone number is or if it's on vacation or something. I know 2 hours later I have SSH access to that server. Or something else. If I want to open source parts of my software, that's a pretty hard thing. I have to talk to legal, I have to talk to my boss, maybe to the CTO. Instead I don't. I just file a ticket, provide all the information, and the ticket is going to legal and they work it. They work from there. Or even more, what if I need a bike? I'm traveling to Amsterdam. I need a bike in the Amsterdam office because they're driving all bikes there. Yeah, I file a ticket. I say, okay, I'm arriving here, I'm departing there. And when I come to Amsterdam, there's a bike ready for me. Or the corporate apartment. It goes on and on. We have so many service desks at Atlassian, but it helps us to get help from the people. So first thing, of course, you should make your services discoverable. So I have to type in, for example, business cards, and then I can file a service ticket for getting business cards. But on the other hand, this means I have to wait for other people. I have to wait for other people that they react on the ticket. Yeah, I can follow the ticket, great, I can comment on it, but I have to wait for them. Even better, think about if you have things like that, if you cannot turn it into some kind of self-service, do stuff yourself. For example, legal contract review. Get your legal contract reviews. Guess what? We can do it ourselves at Atlassian. So this is a contract here, contract review service desk where the contract says it's underneath 25,000 K, and I can answer all these questions here with no, and then I press create on the ticket, and it's automatically legally approved. Legal don't want to look at that. It's just too much work for them. So this is a self-service. It enables me to make it faster. It enables legal to work faster. Or if you need QA for testing your software, guess what? Our engineers are testing the software themselves. Sounds a little bit risky? So we actually have trained our developers. So we didn't do that from day one. We have trained our developers. Every developer has to go through a training course for testing software. But now, actually, what our QA is doing, they're doing a kickoff at the beginning. So before we develop a feature, they're doing a kickoff with us, saying, okay, if you develop this feature, you should test this, 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 this. You write that down in a test plan. And then you're going to code and you're going to test it. And at the end, also, there's another check-in. When we do a demo, we're doing regularly demos, and QA is sitting there and say, hey, can you test this or this or this? And these are just the 2 checkpoints. We don't have to wait for QA to jump in and test our software. We test it ourselves. When they are not coming to the demo, it's their fault. All right, so making asking for help easy, and try to think about what you can else turn into a self-service. How can you enable people to do stuff themselves? So the last secret sauce that I have here is building a shared mindset in your team. So building your team knowledge is essential. The team should know everything. As a collective brain, I would say. So when you have the senior developer, actually, that is doing the bug fixing always, because the senior developer, they know the system, they know every line of, this senior developer does know every line of code. It's fixing always the bugs. Poor person, actually. But we want to share that knowledge. Everyone should be able to fix that bugs as fast as the senior developer. So why not having someone else fixing the bugs? So what we do is actually we're sending people on so-called bug fix rotations. So every week, another developer is responsible for fixing bugs. So every developer gets to feel the pain of fixing bugs and not allowed to work on new shiny things. But the senior developer is now allowed to work on new shiny things. So we call that bug fix rotation. What about feature development? Yeah, so we divide our features, break it more down, and then give one task to a developer. But we all know that developing features is a process. You look at it, say, oh yeah, I know what to do here, but then you run into a lot of small decisions here. Should I use caching? Should I not? And you feel a little bit alone with these decisions. Of course, you can interrupt your team, but you don't want to interrupt your team. So you take these decisions. But sometimes it's good to have a discussions about this feature. So what we also do here is everyone that develops a feature gets a buddy. Someone who also knows how to do that feature, what this feature is about. So you can go to that person and bother that person, but not the whole team. So we work with feature buddies. So also feature buddies building a shared mindset of your team. And then also here, the designers. We want to have a shared mindset with the designers too. So doing that is the designers are putting up all their design ideas on a wall in the team room. So you can actually, as a developer, you can go there and give feedback, saying, oh, no, this is not going to work, I can't do that. So also here, we're working together on one piece of software. And also, if you really want to work as a team, you should share some values together. You should have your values together. But not only that, you should also have your engineering values. You should write them down and know what your values are. Is it fast development, no matter what, or is it more quality development? You have your values set ready. So if you look at some code here, these are actually some from an engineering team that is developing Bitbucket, the values. Different teams actually write down different values at Atlassian. So this is the Bitbucket team engineering values. If I see this code here, Boolean is true, Boolean return. That's stupid, isn't it? Right? But actually, I've been working on a lot of projects, and I've seen that code in nearly every project. Not that obvious, but somehow hidden there. It's just stupid. So don't write crappy code. This is the value that the engineering team at Bitbucket has. And if somebody, you probably know that somebody comes to your desk and say, "Hey, can you do that in a day? I know it takes normally a week, but I know you can just write some crappy code and do that in a day, right? Right? Get it done. Say no. No, I'm not going to do that. This will actually harm the code. I'm not going to do that. And here's the engineering value. Don't write crappy code, right? Okay, another story here. So another value. So NASA, they wanted to give their astronauts a ball pen. for writing things in space, right? So it's really, really hard to develop a ball pen with anti-gravity because of the ink must flow down to the ball, and also with these extreme temperatures. So actually, they actually spent over $1 million developing this ball pen. And now they had a great ball pen you can write in space with. You know what the Russians did? They used a pencil, right? They actually asked the astronauts, what can you do? Say, oh, we can use a pencil. Okay, great. Stay in touch with your users. Don't develop just stuff because you can't. Stay in touch with you. That's another engineering value that the Bitbucket team has. And we're writing code, right? And sometimes you have the feeling like you have written this masterpiece, this cool class, and I call it my awesome class. It's so great. It's so elegant. It's so good. And you know what? And then I go on vacation. 1 month's vacation, it's a long vacation, and come back and say, oh, I want to look at my awesome class again. So I put it up and say, oh, what happened to my awesome class? Oh my God, oh shit. It's now, it's not so awesome anymore actually. What happened there? Why did you do that? Right, so people are doing this on purpose. They don't say, I don't want to mess it up, but they want to just get stuff done. But we have an engineering value, or the Bitbucket team has an engineering value that says, leave it better than you found it. Leave the code better than you found it. So these are just a couple of examples. You should come up with your own engineering values. So these are just a couple of examples that the Bitbucket team has. The Jira team has some other engineering values. So come up with important is that you have a common set of values, something that connects you, that you can actually, and you should actually agree. Yes, you should agree to your values, right? I had a lot of fun doing that with the new iPhone 10 here. These emoticons, it's cool. If you want to see that, I have my phone with me. It's really fun. Anyway, so what we want to do is actually. If we want to, we had this before. If we want to do the right things, doing things right, actually, what are we doing? We have some processes in place, something that guides us. That we're doing code reviews. We need two reviewers to review the code. They need to approve it. That's a great process, and we know the quality of the code. It improves the quality of the code. But if you want to do the right things, you need adaptability into your team. You need to build in adaptability into your team that your team can adapt, right? So, and as I said, every team is different. At the beginning I said, hey, team A, totally structured team, team B, totally chaotic. Do things your team way. Give your team freedom that they can do stuff their own way. But also said that something like this engineering values. There are some great things that really can guide our teams, right? So we actually were running around in Atlassian and picking all those great things that people do and help them to get over some hurdles in their software development process, and we put that into a book. Well, actually it's not a book, but we called it a book. It's the playbook. So we collected 40 plus plays in that playbook, so teams can look at it and say, oh yeah, we have the same problem right now. So we open up the book and look at, oh, let's try this play here. So what's a play? So for example, some teams have problems aligning the leadership team with the actual project team. So you look it up in the playbook. What can we do? We can do a demo trust, like this QA demo. So it's a demo trust, it's regularly, we do it regularly, we invite the leadership team, it's open, and you get honest feedback, just to align those teams. So this is the page for it. It says how many people can play this play, how much prep time do you need, and so on, and then how to run this play, and this is in the playbook. Or if you want to play another play, it's like, hey, if you want to find out what concept will really work for the users, what can you do? Do you have to develop all the concepts, show it to users? So you can look it up in the playbook, and there's a play called concept testing. Concept testing goes like this. You put everything on paper prototypes, the concept that you want to test, put it on paper prototypes, so draw it on a paper, invite some users, explain, if you press here, this drop-down menu comes down, and then give them some stickers. And then they can vote with red and green stickers. Yeah, I like this concept, or I don't like this concept. So it looks a little bit like this here. This is a concept test for Jira. So said that is there are more than 40 plays in our internal playbook. So you can play things like, maybe you heard about it, some retrospectives, but then there are some other stuff like trade-off sliders, sparring. So you name it. There are a lot of plays in there, and we thought, great, we have this playbook, and we see actually that it helps Atlassian teams to get better. So why not just give it to the world? And that's what we did. We open it up for the whole world. We put it on our webpage. You can use it. You can play some plays. It's atlassian.com/team-playbook. Go there and actually play some plays. All right, let's wrap this up here. A compelling direction. Give them a North Star. Maybe follow goals with some real measurements and OKRs. Strong structure, build cross-functional team, try to tie your team together, do some rituals, do some refreshments, supportive context, get support from the rest of the organization, make that easy, make information finding easy, and then having a shared mindset, same values, doing that. Now you say it, wow, we have 50 minutes in this keynote. There's so much stuff. Where should we start, right? There was so much stuff, Sven, that you shared. Where can I start? So I have another thing for you. You should measure your team health first. I mean, maybe you are already a high-performance team and you don't have to do anything, right? So measure your team health first. And we actually have a measurement tool for you, and it's 8 checkpoints for better team health. So this is for project teams. We also have that for leadership teams and for support teams. So what are the 8 checkpoints? Does your project have a full-time owner? Is there one full-time owner assigned to your project? Is your team balanced? Do you have the right people on the team that you can kick ass? Do you have a shared understanding of what you should do, right? How do you have a shared understanding on that? What are the values and metrics? How you can measure success? Do you know that? Can you provide an end-to-end demo? Is there a proof of concept that this will work actually? Do you have something where people can read something about the project? What are the goals? What are the requirements? What's the team look like? Is there something like this? Have you all dependencies figured out? Do you know what dependencies you have actually? And then also, what's the velocity? Are we improving? Are we not improving? How fast are we moving? And then actually the team does a self-assessment. So they say, yeah, we have a full-time owner, that's good, or balanced team, not really. So they can vote with red, yellow, and green. And then you measure your team health. And it looks like this. Yeah, not very good. So you can actually look it up in the team playbook and say, okay, the velocity is not good, so what can we do? And then look it up, what play you can place to improve that. And then over time, hopefully your team health improves. Sometimes it doesn't improve. Sometimes it goes down at another thing. That's okay. That's fine. It's a check for your team. It's nothing checking the company, how good you are, how good your team is. It's a check for your team, how you can improve as a team. So, as I said, also the health monitor is part of the team playbook at atlassian.com/team-playbook. So, what is needed for great teams? You need the right tools. And then you need to mix that up. The tools is just the tools, right? You need that up, how to use those tools. So you need the right practices. But not only that, you also need the right people on the team that you can go along with, that you can have a shared mindset with, for example. I started with this rockstar developer, right? We need rockstar developers. For first thing, stop calling them rockstar developers. Stop calling them ninjas. Stop calling them unicorns. This is stupid. This is really bullshit. This is nothing like a rock star. We are not rock stars, we are developers, right? We're not staying on the stage. I do, but hey, not everyone stays on stage and pretends that he or she is a rock star. This is really something we shouldn't do. And also, I'm not a ninja, and I would never call myself a ninja. Actually, for example, female developers. I've never heard a female developer call them ninja. That's not what they do. Really? We are shying people away from our industries by doing this kind of stuff. And it also goes like this. I mean, the world is too complex for a rockstar developer. Actually, even superheroes team up nowadays, right? The Avengers, think about that. So, the lone genius is dead. Long live the team. Thank you very much.